Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Opus Vita Talks. I am your local filmmaker, photographer, right here in Phoenix, Arizona, Isaac Joel, and I'm here to give you a retro review of M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. This was released in August 2nd of 2002. I had to rewatch this twice. I watched this twice in one day because there are so many Easter eggs in this movie. There is so much to unpack. There is so much that you will miss the first time around. If you've never seen this movie before, spoilers ahead. If you have seen this movie already, I really encourage you to go back and rewatch it and kind of brush up a little bit on it. I figure in the spirit of things, since last week, the Pentagon has quote unquote confirmed these footage of alien aircrafts, unidentified aircrafts above us. Are they telling us aliens exist? Are we going to go that deep in a rabbit hole of a conversation? Probably not, but I figure it was a good idea for us to kind of brush up our knowledge on aliens. Should we be afraid? Should we not be afraid? M. Night Shyamalan, this movie came right after he did Sixth Sense, and this was done on a $78 million budget. Worldwide, it grossed over $404 million. This was considered a blockbuster hit for its time. Mel Gibson did Braveheart before this, and not even that movie really set off his career. And I'm not saying that like in an opinion way. That's a fact. You can look that up. Braveheart did not really set off his career like Signs did. It really put him on the map. Right after this, he went on and did Passion of the Christ. Now, M. Night Shyamalan is really a hit or miss director. You have to understand that about him, is that this guy doesn't always 100% stick to landings. For instance, Glass, the combination of the characters from Unbreakable universe and the Split universe coming together for Glass. Now, I really loved Glass when I saw it in theaters. I really did, but I revisited it again, and I 100% see the flaws in it. I 100% see how slow and underwhelming a lot of the action scenes are, especially because it is technically a superhero movie. I'm getting completely off track, but I feel like you need to know this information about this director and who he is going into this, because this was a time period when M. Night was really doing student type films. It felt like he was very amateur, and he wanted to do these big grand scheme ideas on low scales, on a so focused on its characters, its locations. He casted himself in this project, and it's not distracting. It really is not distracting. He is the character that goes into his car after seeing Mel Gibson and his family at the pizza restaurant. He's also outside the house. He's the veterinarian in this. And he doesn't distract you at all. And this was very important for me because he is very distracting in Glass and in his other movies. This role felt so small, and yet it's very, very impactful because of the weight that it carries. From the opening shot of Mel Gibson waking up, going to his restroom to take a piss, and you see on the wall, you see a faded, dusty, what was left of a cross. That a cross was once here, now it's gone. And you see that this is a man who has lost faith, who potentially doesn't believe in God anymore. And he was once, a priest. He was once a father in the church. And when he runs outside and he talks to his son Morgan, and his son Morgan responds, "I think God did it." You can already get this sense of there's going to be this conflict between these two characters and between the topic of faith. The children in this are phenomenal. The children in this, it's very hard to come by good child actors, I feel. I'm not very that impressed when I see children acting. One of my favorite movies is The Florida Project because how amazing the children are in that. The two kids in this, I really feel like they had so much to carry with this film, and they carried it, and I don't feel like they really understood that back then. But M. Night has always been very good at directing children actors. I think he proved that in Sixth Sense, and I think he really proved that in Signs. The cinematography of this movie is really, really impeccable. Every take is so weary, and you can tell that M. Night takes a lot from Alfred Hitchcock. There's a quote on Alfred Hitchcock. I'm probably butchering it, but it talks about suspense and tension, and how there is no suspense when the ticking bomb goes off, but there is suspense when the ticking bomb is underneath the table and we have no idea when it goes off. That is where this rubber band can start expanding and expanding and expanding. By them not showing the aliens for so long in the film, it's just audio. If you're not listening to when the crickets stop chirping, you will miss out on what just happened out there. Is there something out there? What is going on here? If you look up the scene when Joaquin Phoenix is reacting to the found footage of the alien walking by in some dirty alley at a birthday party in some foreign country, it is known as one of the most horrific scenes in cinema. A lot of people study this movie and these scenes because of the weight that it has carried on in cinema history. God, when you're talking about Signs, I really don't like the ending because you see the CGI alien, and then this was another problem that I had when I saw Cowboys and Aliens, was that I was having such a good time not seeing what was making me so afraid. They used animatronic prop hands for the aliens when Mel Gibson chops its fingers off in the pantry. They were doing such a good job at not really having to show us much. They just needed, shadows, noises. It's so dark that you can't see it because they have a cloaking mechanism to them and their ships. The aliens do attack. They do attack. They do come. They come down. There is a potential war happening outside, but you don't see it. You only hear it through the radio when they're downstairs. Through the noises outside. It is so minimum. It is so focused and grounded on we're going to experience what is happening through this one family. Again, when it comes to the ending and you actually do see the alien, that's where it kind of takes me out of it because it is so CGI'd. It isn't a guy in a body double suit, which would have been, I think, a lot cooler if this was just some guy in a suit, in some kind of alien suit. I think that would have gotten the effect 100 times better. This is something they did in Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky is another alien. It's an abduction movie. I highly recommend that. You guys should check that out. That one is probably way more horrific than Signs, because it shows so much of the aliens and what they do to the person that they abduct. But I do think M. Night was asking the right questions when doing this project about coincidences and miracles. You know, is it a coincidence that Bo is always leaving water around the house? Is it a coincidence that she's having spiritual dreams of the future, possibly? Is it a coincidence that Morgan has asthma? Is it a coincidence that Merle is there to help them and to save them? Is it a coincidence that Mel Gibson lost his wife, and that it was to M. Night's character? Or do you look at everything as miracles? You know, was this something that was meant to happen and meant to be in order for these characters, for these people to survive this attack? Wow. M. Night, after this movie, he went on to do The Village and The Happening. He really started losing his touch as a director. I definitely think he got it back once he did The Visit, that found footage movie about the grandkids visiting their grandparents. And with Split. I still stand by on Split being a really, really fantastic suspense and thriller movie, despite how I now kind of feel and interpret Glass as. Sorry, when talking about M. Night and Signs, I just can't help and really think about the grand scheme of everything that he has done. I think he was doing a very, very well job at keeping this movie so focused. The minimalism is really there. They actually took down these crop fields. They actually did the signs in the crop field. You know, if that was done today, that would have 100% been CGI. But because it was done back then and on their budget and on their time, they actually went out and did the work themselves. You have to really, really respect that level of hard work that they put into this. Kathleen Kennedy was a producer on this. I kind of say that reluctantly because she is the woman responsible for, you know, where Star Wars is at today. So seeing her name pop up was like, whoa, she helped produce Signs, and she let a creator be a creator, and she didn't interfere with the process. Not bad. You know, she's made good choices in the past, but damn, I really hate where Star Wars is at now. Highly recommend that you guys go back and revisit Signs. And tell me what it is that you think about it. What was your experience with this movie? I'm sure a lot of you saw this when you were young and this terrified you. If this was done today, it would definitely not have the same impact, the same level, I think, of fear, because we've seen so much already. We've seen worse. We've seen way more graphic stuff. We've seen more intense movies ever since this. But I still stand by, like, this is a really good film because of the sound design, the cinematography, how focused it is on the characters. My God, when the alien was outside attacking the dog, and it's just zooming up in the corner of the wall, and you just hear the dog dying. It is really creative. It is really creative, and I definitely respect a lot about M. Night. He cares so much about his projects that he's always banking them. You know, most of these are done on his budget. It is done from straight out of his pocket, and I really do respect that because he wants to see his vision seen all the way through the end. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to today's episode. Let me know what it is you thought about this. If you have any requests, we're going to be doing a lot more reviews here. There's so much that I've been brushing up on. I've been watching Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen that, I do recommend checking that out, and we will have a discussion right here on Opus Vita Talks about it. Demolition Man is getting a sequel for some reason. Tom Cruise is teaming up with the people over at NASA and SpaceX and Elon Musk to make the first featured film in outer space. Is this going to be a actual featured film, or is this going to be another Mission Impossible segment? Not very clear on that as of yet. Tamora Morrison returns as Boba Fett in The Mandalorian. I don't know why the headlines are saying that he returns as Boba Fett. He wasn't Boba Fett in the other films. He was just the clones. But he is, I guess, going to be the one that's going to be reprising this role of Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 2, apparently. I thought this was going to be on Season 3, but apparently it's going to be Season 2. I have a feeling that this is just more nostalgia bullshit. If I'm being completely honest, I have a feeling that this is just another attempt to give out more merchandise. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to today's episode. As always, I will be here with you to give you it straight up. I'll catch you next time. I've been your host, Isaac Joel.